Morning, Steve Frady in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Where prices are lower. Overnight, wheat was lower, corn was a little bit lower, and beans were higher to start with, and then beans broke. I think in the soybean market, there's talk about China canceling some vessels in Brazil, or at least not opening up a letter of credits, and so those are not loading, and I think that's offering a weaker tone in South American basis levels and a weaker tone in our futures market. The soybean market still has to decide between the difference of maybe slower China demand and bigger supplies in South America versus the fact that here in the United States we may not have done enough to loosen the tight old crop U.S. supply situation. So kind of have to balance that as we go into the month end. Over in the corn, the weekend was great for most of the Midwest. Most of the rains were confined into the southeast part of the United States, and there was some rains across the southern part of the southern plains. The forecast is kind of mixed. One model, European model, has, starting this weekend, a lot of moisture for the Midwest and very cold temperatures, even after this weekend, some snow for parts of the northern Midwest. The other model keeps the rains mostly south across the plains in the southern U.S., which will allow for good corn planting. So we're just going to have to look ahead and see, number one, how much corn got planted over the weekend, how much corn is going to get planted this week in front of this potential weather event, and then if that weather event is right or wrong. But you would think that if the farmer starts planting corn, he'll let some old crop and new crop cash go, which could weigh on the marketplace. $5 corn is expensive if we get the crop planted, but may not be expensive if we don't or have some summer weather problems. We did see one Iowa State climatologist come out and say that as far as he is concerned, the summer outlook looks pretty good for most of the Midwest, and he's plugging in a 167 record corn yield for the United States. Over in the wheat, we had some rains in China, we had some rains in Europe, we had some rains across Oklahoma and Texas and one spot in north central Kansas. That one weather forecast calls for a bunch of rain after next weekend for the southern plains. So wheat's down kind of hard. Outside markets are still trying to digest the diplomatic agreement in Geneva between the Western world and Russia. So far, though, no one has adhered to any of the parts of that diplomatic compromise, and so we're still watching Ukraine very closely to see what Russia's next step is. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.
She was at the football game last night. UVA. I know. I've been short for pretty good.